joining us, and you might be thinking right now, hey, hold on, didn't you shut down the show last week after Russell Crowe named a koala chlamydia ward after you? Well, yes, I did. I did do that. In fact, I went to Australia to go work with the koalas, but then I learned two important things. First, HBO contracts are a little harder to get out of than I originally thought. And second, these horny little fuckers are not as cute as you'd expect. They are nasty, they're mean, they're not even technically bears, and all they kept asking was whether or not I knew James Corden, and I don't. I don't know him, but I hear terrible things. So unfortunately for everybody, this show must continue. And we begin tonight with the Trump White House, the only home in America where the next occupant will have to ask, what's the best way to get cum stains out of Abe Lincoln's ghost? Now, yeah, we're back. It was another big week. It was another big week for the Trump administration. They got 3 American detainees out of North Korea, which was great. They pulled out of the Iran deal, which may turn out to be catastrophic. John Kelly said immigrants lack the skills to assimilate, which is ironic coming from someone with the surname Kelly. And the First Lady announced her anti-cyberbullying program, appealing to people to be kind, which was a little jarring considering this.
Denials and deflections. The White House refuses to talk about a joke one employee made about John McCain's terminal illness.
Yeah, it's true. A Trump aide joked that John McCain's opposition to Trump's pick for CIA director didn't matter because he's dying anyway. And that is shocking, but it's also not really surprising. These days, Trump aide says something awful isn't really news, it's just an assumed fact. Like gravity, or the fact that young Sheldon will someday grow up and look nothing like Jim Parsons, and then all hell will break loose because the world can't handle an inconsistency like that. But tonight, let's ignore all of that and instead focus on the busy week for one person in particular, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's personal lawyer, and a lawyer so shitty he made Trump say, I need someone good, get me Rudy Giuliani on the phone. Think about that. Think about that. Now, Cohen was already in hot water for making a payment to Stormy Daniels, a potential violation of campaign finance law. And this week, the water got even hotter.
Now to the legal drama swirling around President Trump's attorney and fixer, Michael Cohen, reaching a new level tonight over millions of dollars in payments and a serious allegation that Cohen was selling access to President Trump.
Millions of dollars for access to Trump, which is just bizarre, because I naturally assumed that you gained access to the president by finding a golden ticket in your MAGA hat. Oh, don't fall into the river of gravy, little Charlie, or you'll never be the next owner of the racism factory. Now, selling access is a serious allegation, and there is a lot that we still don't know here. What we can say is, shortly after Trump was elected, Michael Cohen suddenly started making a lot of money. It was apparently funneled through a shell company that he created called Essential Consultants, a company for which there is no logo, and even the name arouses suspicion. For starters, this company involves Cohen, who is absolutely not essential. He's also not a consultant. Plus, there's only one of him, so even the S in the company name is a big, dumb lie. And Cohen's pitch to potential clients was pretty brazen.
A Republican strategist says his sales pitch went something like this, quote, I don't know who's been representing you, but you should fire them all. I'm the guy you should hire. I'm closest to the president. I'm his personal lawyer.
And that is a little bit weird, because lawyers don't generally pitch themselves by offering up info on their other clients. It's like a doctor saying, if you hire me, I'll tell you about all of Larry King's birthmarks. Well, first, you're not supposed to be sharing that information. And second, ew! Now, the most eye-catching business that Cohen drummed up came from Columbus Nova, an investment company linked to a Russian oligarch, which paid him $500,000. And they insist that the oligarch had nothing to do with that payment, and that they hired Cohen for his expertise. But what is Cohen an expert in exactly, other than wearing jackets that look like they should be worn by a leprechaun used car salesman? And it wasn't just Columbus Nova. Big companies with business before the Trump administration gave money to Cohen, including a defense contractor, which paid him $150,000, and pharmaceutical giant Novartis, which agreed to pay him $1.2 million for advice on US healthcare policies. But after only one meeting with him, this happened.
Novartis says it quickly realized Cohen could not provide them the insight they wanted on healthcare matters, and the decision was taken not to engage further. Already under contract, the company still paid Cohen nearly $1 million over the course of a year.
I mean, just think about that. They met Cohen once, and even though he still had months to go on his $1 million contract, they decided, let's never see this guy ever again. They basically paid $1 million not to talk to Michael Cohen, which, when you put it that way, actually starts to sound like kind of a bargain. And Novartis wasn't the only company who put a stupid amount of faith in Cohen's non-existent expertise.
A new report says that on the very first business day of the Trump administration, the president's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, signed a contract with AT&T to receive $600,000 to consult on long-term planning.
It's true, on the first business day of Trump's presidency, Cohen signed a deal with AT&T, who are currently trying to take over our parent company, Time Warner, but they said they only paid him to better understand the president's thinking, which is just ridiculous, because if you want to understand this president's thinking, simply have a donkey kick you in the head 5 times and then watch Fox News for 72 hours straight. That'll give you a pretty good idea about what's going on in his mind. Now, we probably don't yet know the full significance of all of these payments, but I would argue that, at heart, these companies got exactly what they paid for, because they wanted to understand how the Trump administration worked. And think about it. They put their trust in a political novice who turned out to be a total moron, and who was actually just bilking them for personal gain. So, you wanted to know how the Trump administration works? Congratulations, you just got a fucking masterclass. And now, this.
And now, local news gets real about Mother's Day.
So Mother's Day shouldn't be just another day where we do the same old thing over and over again. Brian, what are your plans for Mother's Day?
My wife is going to leave me with 2 children, and I will figure it out. Those are my plans.
That's a nice gift you're giving her.
Yeah, no, I wasn't given a choice. She just told me, I'm leaving. Good luck to you. So, yeah.
You're being a good husband.
Yeah, not a choice.
What are you going to do?
For my wife? Let her sleep and not talk for 30 seconds until she's started drinking coffee.
That's it?
Hooters has free meals for your mom if your wife or mother is okay with going to Hooters on Mother's Day.
Every year we say, Mom, we're going to go walking with you. We're going to hang out. And she's like, oh, I think I could just, go get a spa gift card, a massage or something. We're like, thanks, Mom. Maybe that says something about you, Kate.
We were standing in the kitchen, our eyes met, and then she gave me the stink eye. That's what happened. It was real awkward.
She gave you the, it's this Sunday, you better get on the ball.
I felt bad.
Moving on. Our main story tonight concerns Venezuela. Not to be confused with Benazela, because that is the hot new celebrity couple that's just Ben Affleck fucking a vuvuzela. Yeah, he's happy. He's happy. You should be happy for him. Venezuela is the country famous for giving the world oil, 7 Miss Universes, 6 Miss Worlds, and of course, most importantly, 1 Wilma Valderrama, who I like to think of as the Miss Universe of that 70s show. Now, over the last few years, it has seemed like every time Venezuela has been on the news, it's because something awful has been happening.
Food riots and looting. This is now the only daily diet Venezuelans can count on.
Violent protesters stormed the National Assembly Sunday, even punching some lawmakers.
Chaos in Caracas. A stolen police helicopter fires on Venezuela's Supreme Court.
The clashes in Caracas between protesters and police are looking more like all-out war.
It's true. Things in Venezuela have been extremely grim. So fair warning here, this is not going to be one of those feel-good last week tonight stories like Slippers or Everything Looks Okay at the Pudding Factory or a genocide, but it's only happening to balloon animals. And it has been hard to keep up with events in Venezuela due to the hurricane of shit that we've all been dealing with here. Although, if you follow conservative media at all, you may have seen it frequently painted as the inevitable, dire consequences of a socialist government. For a case in point, just watch this InfoWars reporter quizzing an extremely chill Bernie